Hello friends, it's Trevor, it's Avery, it's Pat, it's the citywide special. The Eagles get a big division win versus the Commanders and take first place in the NFC East. The defense has another strong showing. Was Jalen Hurts concussed during the game? The Birds traveled to LA to take on the Rams on Sunday night. The Flyers have won 3 of their last 4 despite battling injuries. Sam Ersson hits the IR. Ken Vedotov and Kolosov hold it down in net. The Sixers season continues to be a total disaster as the team now sits at 2-11. Joel Embiid looks way out of form, while Paul George has not lived up to expectations either. Jared McCain is the lone bright spot, looking like the best rookie in the league. Can the team get it together, or are we in for a long season? All that and more coming up right now. How's it going, fellas?
Wet. Finally, for the first time in a long time, just woke up to the city being a little damp out there with some rain at night. It was nice.
Did it rain overnight?
It did. I went to sleep last night. I got to go to sleep to the sounds of the rain hitting the leaves, which is pretty nice. So it's good to get some moisture back here in Philly. But other than that, pretty good. Everybody's all prepped up at work talking about Thanksgiving and stuff like that. Obviously, gobblers are all among us here.
Season, baby.
But yeah, can't complain too much.
You ever make your own gobblers? We were one time.
Yeah,
we made them.
We made them one time.
Yeah,
Nick made them. We made them at Nick that one time.
Yeah.
And then I remember, I guess it was last year I had a Friendsgiving, and Nick and Monica brought gobbler, Nick, I know you're listening. I don't remember what it was. It was a gobbler, like a gobbler roll. It was like a gobbler.
Oh yeah, like in a little crescent roll.
Yeah,
nice.
I think that's what it was. That Friendsgiving was cursed. Otherwise, though. That was when Mir Long brought the 99 party buckets.
Oh shit!
And I made a bunch of eggnog that was already really high in alcohol. And we started pouring all the different random 99s into the eggnog.
Oof.
Fuck.
So yeah, and then I woke up the next morning with COVID.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I got out of there clean, baby. No COVID for me.
Yeah, a bunch of us got sick. Consider yourself lucky.
Not me, baby.
But yeah, it's good to be wet.
It's good to be wet. I'm always saying that. Always saying that.
It's we're not burning up anymore, dude. There was all those fires.
Yeah.
When was it? Last week or 2 weeks ago?
We all woke up. Out
we were like, damn, dude, the city smells like smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
70. There was a thing by 76 that was on fire. There was a thing by 95 on fire. Jersey kept blowing smoke into Philly.
Fucking Dean's neighbor's house caught on fire, just randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Walked up to here. There were some kids playing with a piece of paper, lighting paper on fire.
Yeah, last week when we recorded, these kids were playing out front.
People were just bugging out.
Can't have that.
And also, my car kind of needed a bath because there's been all this construction. They've been replacing all the water mains on my street.
Got a dusty ass car.
So my car was filthy.
Dusty ass car.
I was just dusty as fuck.
My car was it has never been that filthy. And I kept saying I should just go to the car wash. But then I'm just going to park on the same dusty street. It's going to get dusty again.
Yeah.
So now they finished the construction, mostly, I think. And then it rained. So my car looks a little better. It's still pretty goddamn dirty. I'd probably go to a car wash this weekend. But it's good to get some wet in our life, dude.
Yeah, man.
Gotta have some wet.
Yo. Well, I could tell a story about the other wet, but it'd be wildly inappropriate, and I know parents listen, so we'll keep it clean here.
We'll keep it dry. Damn.
You know what else was dry? Yo, that fight.
Man, ass.
The fight of the century,
that
baby.
That fight was cheeks. They're literally cheeks.
Oh, God,
yeah, literally Mike Tyson cheeks.
Yeah.
Yo, why was he wearing a thong doing an interview?
I think it was his cup. I think it was his like
a jock strap thing. Yeah.
But why wouldn't you wear some tights or shorts or something?
Man. Well, why did he say I love you?
Getting in the zone.
Your big flat booty.
Why did he say I love you to the guy? Wasn't it just a reporter? He was like, "What do you think about the fight? Ferocious win." And then he's like, "All right, well, I'll see you out there." He's like, "I love you."
Well, I love you too. The best was that clip of him getting interviewed by that 12-year-old girl. He's like, man, legacy is just a word people say. Nobody's gonna care when I'm dead. What people are gonna be thinking about me after I'm dead? No, I'm just gone. You're done. You're nothing. And she's just like, well, thank you. I've never thought about it like that before.
Yeah, that girl has a career in journalism. She killed it.
She handled it very well.
Oh yeah, she kept her straight face the whole time. Yeah.
Imagine you're some 12-year-old interviewing Mike Tyson. You ask about legacy, and he starts cursing at you.
Yeah.
It's like,
you're nothing.
Okay.
You think people are going to think about you when you die? She's like, well, all right. I think... Damn.
Yeah, why the fuck would anyone care about that? He's like dropped an F-bomb at the end. That was so fucking funny.
Yeah, that fight was...
Yeah, not a fun viewing experience. The fight beforehand was great.
Yeah,
both the undercard fights were
I didn't see the first one. I saw the
first one was
Katie
good too.
Taylor and...
That one was better.
Yeah, that one was good.
They actually
kind of
fought.
surprised at the decision, but I don't really know anything about boxing, so maybe it wasn't as egregious. I don't know.
I don't understand. I mean, I didn't get it either. I don't know any rules about boxing that way, but I feel like looking at the card and seeing that the other person, I mean, she threw more punches, but she landed more as well.
Yeah,
so
I think she had a better
if no one's going to
percentage
knock out, then I feel like that's the name of the game. All right, well, I hit you way more than you hit me. I don't know if they were like critical hits or like headshots all the time, but that's how Floyd Mayweather makes his money now.
Especially considering that she had to like fucking fight the whole time with like blood in her,
Yeah.
her fucking eye.
They both kind of were jammed
Yeah,
up.
they were jacked up by the end of it, dude.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I mean, that was a true fight. So whoever won, I guess, whatever, if there's discrepancies there. But I feel like if you're boxing and I hit you 180 times, you hit me 85 times, and you win, I feel like that's a little fucked up.
Yeah.
Not that those are the true numbers, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's the name of the game, is to hit the other person.
I don't know, man. I feel like boxing, the judging's kind of subjective.
Definitely it is.
feels
Yeah, it's
very
definitely.
Were you watching like Olympic style boxing, like Floyd, or do you want like heavy hitter kind of boxing? And like people want to watch boxing to watch someone get knocked the fuck out. No one's trying to watch ticky tacky, like, I mean, they both were. I don't know what their knockout ratios are, but the fight was good when they were fighting. But like you watch the fight to see someone get knocked out. You don't watch it to see them just go the distance and tap to tap, tap to tap, tap to tap. I hate that shit.
Yeah, which was the Tyson Paul fight, but like even that, like you just felt so bad for Mike Tyson. That was elder abuse, yo.
I mean, Paul. I feel like Tyson's first round was that was it.
His first couple of rounds,
Yeah.
he looked okay.
But there were a lot of clips of
Yeah.
him, like obviously 20 years ago or 25 years ago at this point, where he's like, he would go to hit someone, they would duck, and he would come over with the fucking club and just knock him out. And like he had 2 opportunities in the first round to do that and just missed. And then at the end, Paul was just kind of. I appreciate that he at the end was like, "Listen, I'm not going to knock out Mike Tyson in the last round. Like, I'm not going to do that to the guy. Like, I get what it is, but at the same time, it's like, fuck it, you did all that shit. You might as well knock him out. Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a fight, man.
I think he was being respectful. Like towards the end when he bowed and like he was talking after the match, like this is a legend. Shout out to him. He's damn near 60. This, that, and the other thing. Like, I think he realized, yeah, what a privilege and an honor. Like, I'm gonna win. Like, I don't need to embarrass this guy. Which, like,
I get that.
say what you will about him. Like, I kind of appreciated that. Like, that he was like paying his respects and not like being a total shithead. Which in real life he really is. But
No, I get that. He plays the villain a lot, but I feel like if you're gonna be the villain, then that was your chance to really be the villain.
I mean, every time he has one of these fights, everyone's always complaining about how ridiculous it is that he doesn't really fight any real, doesn't take on any real competition, this and that. But jokes on us because we all fucking watched.
Mhm.
yep,
If you could.
So many, it was like crashing on me every like 5 minutes. I had to like back out and restart it. Like
awful.
it was so because so too many people watched it. It was fucking crashing Netflix. So it's like they're gonna keep doing it as long as people are watching.
Well, they have their Christmas game too now.
Oh, that's
gonna be
gonna ruin Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and that's the Chiefs and the Steelers,
Right.
right?
yeah.
Right, that's
I
the
think
game.
so.
Yeah, that game's gonna be freezing.
I mean, that was just what 40 million people they said that watched it, which blew out every. I mean, I think the Floyd Merriweather, I think, holds the record for like
Merriweather.
Mayweather.
It's Floyd Mayweather.
Mary
Williamson.
I believe that's one of the hobbits from Lord of the Rings.
Merriweather.
Mary Williamson. Yeah, I like Mary Williamson. Marianne Williamson. That's my girl, dude.
But I feel like
Crystal Ball.
They blew
I
out
have
the
a crush
viewership.
on her.
Oh yeah,
I've had a crush on Marianne Williamson since the first time she ran for president in 2016. That's my cute old white lady, dude.
Yeah.
But in any case, they did blow out the viewership records, so take it for what it's worth. But if it broke at 40 million, I feel like there's gonna be way more than that tuning into football on Christmas Day.
Yeah, it is funny too how Jake Paul has more wins at AT&T Stadium than the Cowboys do this year.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah, they got beat up again by Houston on Sunday.
I couldn't even watch that game.
I I went to bed. I was up by like 12, and I was like, I don't like how this looks. Because
I mean, they were like,
you are playing each other this week.
Yeah, I was winning.
Oh yeah, I had Mixon.
Yeah,
and I beat him by a point.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Mixon had like 34, and I just edged out a win.
I was fucking pissed. Rico Dowdle needed to do like anything and didn't do anything. I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, it was so bad. I only caught like the last quarter, I guess, but that last turnover that Dallas had was so funny because like Cooper Rush gets stripped of the ball, and then one of their linemen picks it up, and then he just tries to start running with it. It's like, just dude, you're not that dude. Just go down.
That's like when we played them when the lineman kept trying to scoop it up and kept instead of falling on the ball.
Like, dude, you have the ball. Like, you won. You recovered the fumble. Just fucking go down.
That's terrible. That's just such a badly coached team.
That is a desperate team.
For that to happen to them 2 weeks in a row where they just can't recover.
Like, what did you think you were going to do? Like, you're going to pick up like two yards or something?
Like, they're at like their own like 35-yard line too. They weren't even like at the red zone. It's like, all right, well, here we go. The team is just bad. And they don't just lose. They get blown the fuck out.
At home.
Yeah.
Dude, they've gotten smoked at home every game.
20 plus points every time.
It's not like these are coin toss games. They're getting whooped at home every game.
I saw someone did a stat comparison today, and it basically showed that Micah Parsons and Nolan Smith have had pretty much the same season. Like, they have like about the same number of like tackles and sacks and shit.
Damn.
It's pretty fucking funny.
Micah Parsons was hurt, but yeah, I mean,
I guess he was out for a while, but it's still pretty funny.
Michael Parsons, someday he'll be an Eagle.
Next year,
would y'all want him to be an Eagle?
I don't know. I mean,
if we don't have to give like,
I mean, obviously you would want the talent. I feel like
he wants to be here.
I don't know if I like the vibes, but I wouldn't say no to that.
He's playing on a loser franchise, so of course he's going to have loser energy.
Well, if we don't have, is he a free agent after this year, or is he?
No, I think didn't they sign him, or did they franchise tag him? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Either way, if we could get him, I wouldn't. As long as you don't give up too much, I would definitely put some offers together to get Micah Parsons. I mean, he wanted a break from being in PA for a little bit, went to Dallas, okay, whatever, but time to come back home.
Yeah, we brought our other Penn State boy back, Saquon, and he's
But
balling.
I would not want them to I don't want that optimism of bringing in Micah Parsons to deter re-signing Zach Bond. Like, if you're going to have to do some shit.
They're kind of two different positions.
I get that, but at the same point, like, our linebacker core is pretty thin as it is.
Yeah.
Like, they're playing well. No one's hurt, knock on wood. But, like, you don't really have the luxury of just moving some people around. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we can just jump right into the Eagles. But, with Zach Bond, I kind of feel like they need to get that extension done before the end of the season. You can't, if you let him reach the market, dude, you're going to get outbid or you're going to have to pay him crazy money. Mm-hmm. They could franchise tag him, which means, what's that mean? It means he would get the highest salary of like any like interior linebacker, which like you should probably just give him that anyway, but it would just be for a year instead of a long-term deal. Like, the cap's going up. Why wouldn't you just do it? I've been crying about on this pod for at least a year now that they need to like invest in linebacker. Like, Nakobe Dean's on his rookie contract yet. You don't have to worry about him, but like Zach Bond, he's here now. He's on a 1-year deal. Don't let him reach free agency.
Yeah. I mean, you got Trotter Jr. in the works. In the back end, that's growing, which is fine. They're not forcing him to play a whole lot, but I think that Bond is a guy that you have to bring back. You've seen how you got burnt by letting TJ Edwards go. Mm-hmm. Pretty much every other linebacker that we've had the last
Jordan
3 years,
Hicks.
You lose, you bring them, they have 2 good years, and they're out. Bond literally has been one of the best linebackers every week, just about, or at least top 3.
He's been like a pro. He's playing like Pro Bowl caliber football.
you gotta lock that man down.
Yeah, and I think it's also I feel like it's kind of I feel good about them doing that just because the fact that they went out there and signed Saquon to that deal kind of shows that they're willing to deviate from their sort of overriding philosophy when it comes to these sort of things. Like, obviously, the past 5 years, they're not a team that was willing to invest in a running back like that. They felt the same way about linebackers, but it's, you got a guy like this, and it's okay. Maybe it's time to deviate from that a little bit and just get a fucking really good player locked up.
Well, like, you lose. I mean, I feel like they didn't have to invest in linebackers before when you had like Malcolm Jenkins, even as recent as that, commanding the defense. But you have so much youth and a lot of young guys on that team that you need, and not that Zach Bond's like he hasn't been a field general, so to speak, but he definitely plugs that hole in the middle of the field. What he impacts the passing game, impacts the rushing game. He's definitely calling some plays and doing some shit out there where, like, Slay, I guess they tried to make him that guy, but he isn't really that guy.
It's also hard to be that guy from the cornerback
Right.
position.
So,
You're
like,
over
you
on,
need-
like, one side of the field.
You're going to lose Graham, who isn't, you're going to lose that leadership on the line this year. So
Dude, Brandon Graham's been saying, like, as well as he's playing, he could see himself playing another year.
and that's fine, but we need to, like, you got to look to, like, the future.
I hear you.
You know, a 3-year
Yeah.
contract goes a long way to a guy that's going to command the linebacker core and that, like, next level group. You know, no one's worried about the defensive front or the secondary right now, how they're playing. But that middle of the field, I'm not ready to let Bond go and have Nakobe Dean take over.
Oh,
like,
absolutely
that's,
not,
You
no.
know, Nakobe Dean and Trotter Jr., like, what? He's the guy. He is your guy. He's your future, you know, main linebacker to have.
Yeah, we can't go looking a gift horse in the mouth on this one. Bond's, like, what did we say last week? He's the best linebacker since, what did we say, Jordan Hicks, Jeremiah Trotter?
I think I said probably Michael Kendricks because he's
Michael
not.
Kendricks.
He hasn't. I don't think he's been here long enough to really be in the same conversation as Trotter yet. Because Trotter did it for not just 1 year; he did it for an extended period of time.
And for 2 stints, yeah.
So I think that right now he's more on like a really good year of Michael Kendricks, like that 2017 Super Bowl run where he was playing his balls off. Because Michael Kendricks was like a pretty much average linebacker.
He was like a 3rd or 4th
Yeah,
round
you know,
pick.
like
yeah.
we didn't really have a stud. So I think he's right now Michael Kendricks era. If we sign him for a long-term deal and he continues to play at this level, then I'll say, okay, yeah, he's kind of up there with Trotter.
Fair enough. Well, he's given us a lot of high-level football, so yeah.
The fact that we can even have that conversation at a linebacker position for the Birds, that hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah. But anyway, we got to talk about the game we were all at.
All the lads were at the
The
game.
lads were in attendance.
Yeah, that's why they won. They needed that extra juice in the second half. That first half was
Yeah, that
brutal.
first half was, ugh.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was good to get a dub. I fell out of my chair, almost fucking broke
You
my
fell
damn-
out of your chair.
Yeah, well, I was standing up on the chair, like pumping with the crowd and all that. And I don't know what I was doing, but I must have twisted or something, and I fell off the chair and fell backwards. And usually there's people behind me, but there was no one in that row at the time, so I just went right back, and I was like a turtle.
Damn.
I was like a turtle on a shell.
You were like the Australian break dancer.
I said, help, where's my life alert? Yeah, it was brutal. But I got up. We were all right.
You were like Steve Urkel. I've fallen and I can't get up.
First, I went down and said, hold on now, my head's up. I'm like, oh, I'm good. But then the next day, I'm like, ah, shit, like right where my kidneys. I'm still a little bruised up back in here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I hit the chair like, right.
Oh, damn.
Right there.
Did you all help him up?
Yeah, they got me up.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game was fun, dude. The tailgate, we were cold. Your family threw down as always.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Shout out to your family. I know they're listening.
It was a good time. A little pulled pork, a little hoagie action, a couple shots.
Yeah.
Dude, that
Cold beer.
pineapple stuffing was the
Yeah, that
highlight
was
for me. I
banging,
love that
dude.
shit.
Yeah, I was gonna bring
was
that
good
up.
as hell. I'll have to learn how to make some of that.
We don't play around. It was a good time. And a good turnout, too, for a week, weekday
Thursday
night
night
game.
night.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good time. The game was, first half was meh. Second half, dude, the offense woke up. Hold on, what was that? Oh, you brought it up in the open. Was Hurts concussed?
Yeah,
So
he
from
had-
where we were sitting, man, we could see him go into the blue tent.
Yeah.
And, like, we saw him, like, be the last one to, like, go into the locker room and the last one to come out. So we're sitting there, me and Dean are sitting there because we're 25 rows back from, like, midfield from the bench. We're like, why is Kenny Pickett still have his helmet on? Why is he throwing passes on the sideline? We're like, oh, shit, here we go.
Yep.
It's going to be Kenny Pickett in the second half. Then, like, a minute before the second half starts, Hurts comes jogging out, and he seemed fine. But then, dude, after the game, did you see the clip where he was doing the video with Scott Van Pelt?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he was wearing his sunglasses.
Sunglasses. Like,
It's like, what are you wearing
good
sunglasses
DMV
for?
guy.
Yeah.
He was-
He said, how you feel?
Yeah.
He seemed like he
He
might have
sounded
been
fucked.
concussed.
Yeah, he sounded kind of fucked up.
He
And
sounded like he was
I don't know, and like I don't know if this was, if it happened before or after he, hit his head or whatever on that one play or whatever. But he had that one throw to AJ Brown
Oh
that
my
was just
God.
not even close, and it's just like that.
That was
Something's-
unlike him.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
seemed wrong there. It doesn't just seem like he just made a bad throw. That was
He has bad throws down the field, but he very rarely misses on short,
Yeah,
in routes or out routes. Like,
Right,
he's pretty
yeah.
accurate, medium to short throw, dink and dunk kind of shit. That was like, even we were
Yeah, that
watching, we were
was
like,
bizarre.
what the yeah. Even AJ Brown was like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm right here. What?
yeah. It's weird.
But Relied on the run game. Again, second half, when the defense on the other side is kind of worn down and tired, and Saquon Barkley took over again like he does.
Yeah.
That is I will never get over that pickup.
Yeah, no, I think...
Yeah, the thank you Giants chants
Yeah.
after the
that was
game.
funny. But yeah, I was trying to think earlier. I was like, is this the best Eagles free agent pickup from a division rival? I think it is. Who else have we gotten from division rivals that was like any good? Who else have we gotten from division rivals, period?
Oh, is he better than James Bradbury?
Well, James Bradbury in 2022 was really good.
He was good that
He
one
was
year,
really,
yeah.
really good for 1 year.
Well, it's funny because it usually goes the other way around, right? Like
Right.
T.O. goes from Philly to Dallas. McNabb, I mean, just for what it's worth, like McNabb goes to Washington. D-Jax goes to Washington right away. Like, we usually lose guys to divisional rivals. We don't ever get them from divisional rivals.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Bradbury we were excited when that initially happened, obviously.
Oh, he was
that 1
great
year,
in
and he was great.
2022, yeah.
But yeah, I think that he's hands down the best, arguably one of the best free agents we've ever picked up too at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, if he continues the way that he's playing, it's just amazing to watch. And it's funny because it's the 3 years while Hurts has been on this tear, and the Eagles have been kind of, pushing almost every other year NFC champion, NFC number 1 seed. The crucial thing is always like run the ball. We don't have enough guys to run the ball. We always have guys that are built like Shady or DeAndre Swift, who are Miles Sanders, who are kind of quick out route guys. We finally have a fucking bull.
Yeah.
And this guy's out here playing his nuts off, catching the ball, running, jumping over guys backwards. I mean,
trucking people.
It's just insane to watch. And we got him for really not that much.
Yeah,
from a rival. It almost makes it just makes it more sweet.
Yo, it's wild. Like, he's making the same amount of money as, like, Gabe Davis and Darnell Mooney.
Yeah.
And just, like, he's been so much more impactful. But, I mean, that's a larger conversation about how the NFL has undervalued the running back position, similar to how they've undervalued the linebacker position.
Definitely.
And in both cases, with Saquon and Zach Vaughn, it's worked out in our favor and hopefully continues to. But nah, man, like, the running game was strong. Even those Kenny Gainwell runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a couple good ones.
So, like, Fran Duffy broke it down on the PHLY show. He was saying the Eagles, and, like, even some of the players, like, have said, yeah, we ran plays for those Kenny Gainwell runs that we never ran all season. Where, like, so they were called tackle trap and tackle wham, or halfback wham. I know this from Madden, but also because Fran broke it down too. But, yeah, so, like, the Eagles run a lot of, like, these concepts where they run inside zone and, like, they just split the line into, like, segments, and Saquon finds the hole and runs up it. So Washington was thinking, oh, yo, you ain't doing this against us. We're just going to have our centers just come right up the inside and cut that off. So the Eagles that's essentially what it is. You pull the chair out from them.
Yep.
You let the center just snap the ball. The guard goes right upfield. The tackle's like, oh, shit, yeah, I'm going to get myself one. And then on tackle trap, you have the right tackle. So you had Lane just come up and just blindside him. And then on wham, you had Dallas Goedert just come up and blindside him. And then the center and the guard are up the second level. They're just blocking dudes, blocking linebackers and safeties. And that's how they had those big holes on those Gainwell runs. And then after that, they had to respect it. So then that's when you open it up for Saquon to get those big runs to the outside.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. Like, being at the game, like, I didn't really know what's going on. Like, the viewing experience at the game versus watching it on TV is totally
it's hard
different.
to really tell.
You miss the intricacies of the game when you're in it because you're, like, you see him break free, you just, you're going berserk and watching him go down the field and whatnot.
But yeah, it was cool to see it and be like, okay, so they still have some tools in their bag.
Yeah.
It's week 10 and they have not run that all season. Kind of makes you think, like, what else do they have up their sleeve?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure with that kind of more offense, there's a lot more layers to the onion. There was a couple blocks, too, where, like, Landon Dickerson would help out the center real quick, and they would see the linebacker drop in the gap to try to go get Hurts. And the best block of the game, I think, Landon just turns back around and just gives him a shoulder, puts him right on his back, and then stands over him. He's like, all right, what now? And Hurts, dumps it off. It's just the O-line, for what it's worth, you got Mulata back. Not his best game, but he's back. Only get the little mini bye this week, which is good, right? You get like a nice little long extended break between this weekend and now, you don't have to play until this Sunday. But that O-line is no joke. They're younger now. You got Cam Jurgensen, his name has not been brought up at all this season, which is good, which is honestly for me a good thing, right? Like
it's only brought up when he's doing Kelsey-esque stuff,
right? Which is fine.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Like
Yeah.
I'd rather have my center just do his thing, put his head down, snap the ball well. He's had a couple upfield blocks, which are good, but he's not doing anything to fuck up the game, which is perfect because that is a crucial relationship that we lost, right? You can lose a Fletcher Cox and you can fill in a Jalen Carter, that's okay, or a Jordan Davis, but you lose Jason Kelsey, who's not just the heartbeat of that offense. You know, we all thought that the push tush would regress a lot worse. It's definitely regressed a little bit, but not as bad as it could be.
No, he's held it down.
And there's no false starts. There's no bad hikes where he's snapping the ball over Hurts' head. Like he's
other than week 1.
Yeah,
but
which is
you're
fine.
working out the hiccups.
But your first, also kudos to him though. Like the game that you're working the kinks out is in fucking Brazil. Like you don't even have necessarily a safety net that way. But I think that Cam Jurgens, he hasn't been doing anything sexy, but that's cool. I'm glad that he's just kind of doing his thing and not messing anything up.
Yeah. Yeah, the offensive line's playing great. Running game's playing great. Receiving game's leaving a little something to be desired, but...
Yeah, passing game is not quite there, but I'm still confident that they can figure it out.
Yeah,
I mean, all the pieces are all there. I'm not too worried about it. They just have to, figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, you have 2 elite wide receivers.
Yeah,
you have
and Goddard.
Yeah, solid tight end, and not gonna lie, Grant Calcaterra is a really solid tight end too.
Yeah, he had that great. His best play was that recovery. Yeah.
It saved the game.
Yep.
If we don't get on that ball, that changes the complexion of the entire game.
Because that next play, then I think we score a touchdown. Or
yep,
we go
that
up,
was right after
2 scores. Yep. So I think that, and I think Bird's Huddle today was talking about it too, where they were like, the eye test. Hurts right now has his best QB rating this long into the season of his whole career. And
really,
101
better
points.
Than 2022.
It's 100 up until this point in the season. It's the best one.
Jesus,
it's
okay.
101 point something, right? But at the same time, people could look at this offense and say, "Wow, like they're not utilizing AJ Brown or Devontae Smith like they should. Their offensive passing game is not as great as it could be." At the same time, though, it's we've been harping on this team to be a run focused team for so long, and now that they are and they're winning games, Hurts is only throwing 25 passes a game, 22, but he's getting you 60 yards on his legs. He's throwing the ball efficiently, which is good, and you're getting Saquon with 120 plus a game just about. So like you don't need to be getting AJ Brown 85 plus yards a game. You don't need Devontae Smith as much as you need to. There's a way to probably use it more, but I think that I'm not to Trevor's point, like we have the pieces there. It's just a matter of if Washington's going to give us that lane and we could just beat the shit out of them for 45 minutes, we'll just do that. Like, Saquon isn't taking big hits. And if you need to, except for those couple weird passes, maybe Hurts was a little delusional or whatnot where he missed A.J. Brown, but that typical dump-off, dink and dunk, that's his bread and butter this season. You dink and dunk up the field, you run the ball a few times, get a big hole for 20 yards. We haven't had that. Usually, you got a running back like Swift who gets you 5 and then he fumbles the ball or he doesn't really get that little push. It's just a whole different dynamic that we're not used to that I think is hard to kind of...
Okay. I agree with you, and at the same time, I think I disagree. So I do agree that Hurts has gotten better with his checkdowns, right? Like, in the past, it was the offense didn't even really have these checkdowns built into it. Everything was 4 verts or just... Hurts run or AJ Brown runs a comeback, and that's the only route worth anything. Whereas now, like, the offense is a little more evolved, where like, you can have 4 verts, but then you have a check down underneath, or you have you can run 4 verts, but you have someone on a crossing route, like something like that, where it's not as reliant on the deep ball. And I think Hurts has run that offense effectively. At the same time, like some of those throws, like even before he got concussed, some of those throws, he's missing them. But what I will say is I think people are making a bigger deal out of the misses than they really need to be. Like every quarterback misses throws. Patrick Mahomes misses throws.
Worst season of his
Joe
career
Burrow
right now.
misses throws. Josh Allen, I was watching that Bills-Chiefs game. He was missing throws. So people do need to settle down and just understand, like, hey, no quarterback's perfect. Like, everyone figures, we gave Hurts all this money. He got us to a Super Bowl in 2022. We have to expect that level of performance all the time. I mean, 2022 was great, but, like, that was probably him at his absolute best, which you're not going to get that every year. You're not going to have from Mahomes right now. I do think, though, at the end of the day, like, say we're in a playoff game against the Lions, that offense is putting up 50 points on the regular. You're going to need Hurts to have one of those games where he can go toe-to-toe with Stafford, or not Stafford, with Goff.
Yeah.
We're playing the Rams. Stafford's on my mind. But he's going to have to go toe-to-toe with Goff the same way he went toe-to-toe with Mahomes. We're going to get to that point.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's capable of it. But right now, like, people just need to relax and enjoy the ride, man.
Exactly. I think that's all it is. Like, the pieces are there. We'll get there when we get there. But right now, they're playing more off what the defense is giving them. And you got a guy like Saquon who can get you those yards. I mean, during the bye, you had Landon Dickerson, Malata, and Lane Johnson go to Sirianni and say, listen, you keep asking about what our identity is. The offensive line wants to run the ball. Like, we have a guy that's behind us that we can block for. We'd rather hit a guy than step back. And they've leaned into that. It's the first season that Sirianni's like not forcing the throw.
Yeah.
So, there's no doubt.
2021, he was very much run the ball, but that's because they didn't have the weapons.
He was more animated. Yeah. Right now, it's like, you're running it effectively. I have no doubt A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith will have their games before the playoffs come about where they're popping off for 100 yards a person and whatever, because someone's going to eventually probably stunt Saquon,
Well, what teams are going to start doing, and like we'll probably see this in the Rams game, is they're going to start stacking the box real heavy and challenging Saquon. Like, you kind of saw it towards the end of the Washington game. I remember, like, from where I was sitting, I was like, okay, they got single high safety. They stacked the box. Single high safety. They stacked the box. It didn't really matter because their defense was worn down, but the Rams might come out fresh on Sunday and be like, hey, we're going to challenge Hurts to beat us. We're just going to stack the box. Saquon's not getting nothing. Let's see if he can beat us over the top.
Which he did last time we played him last year. He had a great performance then. Goddard had a big game. A.J. Brown had a huge game.
A.J. Brown had that one-handed catch over the middle.
A.J. Brown had he had the pink shoes on or yellow shoes, whatever. Like, so, I think that this offense is just, they have so many weapons that it's hard to make everybody get a piece of the pie all the time. But it'll happen. People have their game here. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. Are we worried about Jake Elliott?
Hell no.
What?
After that game?
No?
You said,
I was going to say, yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you go first.
Mule leg my ass. That was like a little fucking shrimp leg out there.
Dude, we were out there tailgating. What?
That's a donkey leg.
Yeah.
We were out there tailgating. It was all cold and windy.
What? Man, it was not that cold in the game. Or that windy.
It's going to get colder.
I seen those flags blown. It was windy.
The extra point, though?
No.
Field goals.
What are you so worried about?
A man that's been so efficient his whole career, right? That was a horrific performance.
You want to know who else is missing kicks? Justin Tucker, the greatest kicker of all time.
Fine, I get that, whatever. But I'm not a Baltimore Ravens fan.
But
I do like Baltimore, though.
I say this to say that, like, kickers to me, man, they're like bullpen pitchers. Their performance year to year is very volatile. I'm like, like Jake Elliott in 2020 didn't have a great year. Last year, he's sitting here kicking 58-yard field goals through storms and rains and not blizzards. It doesn't snow here anymore. But it was kick against Buffalo.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying his career is over, but I think
it's not like we're gonna like get a new kicker or something like that. But it's just should we be a little?
I think
concerned?
that's
Absolutely not.
I think that we should be a little concerned. I think that that is a difference maker of Eagles beating Washington by like 20-something as opposed to beating them by whatever they beat them by. Like that shows
they beat
a lot.
Them by 8, but that last touchdown was garbage time. They would have beaten them by almost 20.
Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but my man's out here kicking like a fucking duck. I'm concerned. If that's his one job to do, and he didn't just have one bad miss, he had 2 bad missed field goals and an extra point. That's a whole touchdown off the board.
He didn't even miss him by that much.
It doesn't matter. It's a miss is a miss. That's like saying, he almost caught the ball, but he missed it by a little bit.
I'm just saying, if it's not cold and windy, he might be all right.
It wasn't even that cold. It's November, dog.
What do you mean it wasn't even that cold?
We have 4 games in December coming up.
We were freezing in the tailgate. What do you mean it wasn't?
It was not freezing. It was not
you were
cold.
I mean, I gave you gloves, so you were cold.
Yo, it was cold.
It was
it was. And let the record show everybody, the game was not that cold.
It's going to get colder.
The game was not that cold.
It's not going to get warmer.
Right.
I'm not worried.
Where's the Super Bowl this year?
New Orleans.
New England. Oh.
New Orleans. Now you're making things up.
Yeah, they're in a dome, right?
Well, we'll see if he misses some
shit.
shit.
If we play in Detroit, that's a dome too.
We're playing at the Rams. Yeah. If he misses some shit, the Rams, I'm not saying
unless we have the 1 seed in the NFC Championship.
We'll talk about that shortly. Yeah.
I just think that of that game, if the game went, it was a tough, hard-fought win. Washington played their nuts off. We knew it was going to be a grueling match. Whatever, we came out with a win. But the biggest piece that was a bit of a red flag, or I don't know how I feel. Jake Elliott. And you can't say no.
I just don't
miss an extra point.
I mean, it might not be the end of the world or something, but I don't know how you come out of that game not being a little
And kickers, I feel like, are like golfers or whatever. You get the yips. If he gets in his head, my man might never hit another field goal in his life.
Get out of here.
He might never kick again.
2022 or 2020 hit just as bad, if not a worse year.
Did you see his warm-ups today at the NovaCare?
No.
Down here? Missed everything. No, he didn't. I'll play. But I'm just saying,
there.
I'm not.
I snuck
I'm not ready to trade him away or whatever, or bring back David Akers out of retirement.
David Akers was
but
he's old.
But I'm just saying that was the only piece that was it's just unusual. You don't ever see him miss that many times in a game.
Back, dude. I'm confident.
But you weren't a little weird.
I was a little confused by it, but I'm not to the point that I'm oh yeah, I'm worried about it. Everyone has a bad game. That's fine, dude. Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals and an extra point.
Yeah, but he's 10 years older than him?
No, Jake Elliott's 28. Justin Tucker's probably 34, 35. It ain't that big of a difference. He's the greatest kicker ever.
Yeah, and
do you think
fine.
Baltimore fans are panicking? Probably not.
I would be.
Some of them probably are, but that usually they should.
I'll ask my Baltimore group chat right now.
I don't think they're panicking, but they're probably very concerned that Tucker has missed. He hasn't just had a bad game. He's missed a lot of crucial moment kicks.
They got more to be concerned about down there.
That's fine, but I'm just saying kickers are a pivotal thing. And Jake Elliott,
kickers are also very fickle.
But Jake Elliott has been a very consistent player for the Eagles. I think that was just a weird game to see. I hope he bounces back. I have no doubt he will. But that was for sure the biggest red flag of the game.
You know what my biggest red flag was? It had nothing to do with the performance on the field. The people sitting behind us.
Oh,
so our seats, right? So Dean, shout out Dean, took me to the game. He got these great seats, like I said, 25 rows off the field, midfield behind the Eagles bench. So the people right next to us, they were a couple working class people. I think they said they were from Reading. This middle-aged man and his wife. They were cool as hell. I turned around at one point, the Eagles were doing good and tried to give these people a high five. It's a bunch of dudes from the main line, some corny-ass kids, barely cheering, didn't even know what the hell was going on. God, I'm why would you come to this game? I'm if you're not even going to cheer and spend money on these seats.
That section was popping off.
Yeah.
Our section was mid, dude, because of them. The people, so these kids, what were they doing? They were in the sweater with the button up. I seen a couple of them.
Oh shit!
Like they just got back from work,
nerds,
a finance job.
Dude, yes.
Come on now.
They were some nerds, so I started just bypassing them.
They're at the press conference, the free agent signing press conference. Where they put the jersey on over
who the hell invited you guys to the game? They were so corny. I started saying bad things about them, words I won't repeat. But, then I started bypassing them because there was a couple people some South Philly, South Jersey dudes behind them. I was hell yeah, that's that type of energy. But these kids were so damn corny, dude. If you're gonna go to an Eagles game, you gotta be ready to turn up, dude. You can't be sitting there in your collared shirt. I had no voice
the next morning.
Yeah, my hand hurt the next day.
Yeah,
my hand hurt.
Well, I mean, we went to Bucktown, but
yeah.
Well, then
I stopped at 7-Eleven and got chicken wings on the way home.
Yeah,
that was bad. I got messed up after that game.
The other thing I gotta lament is the damn express train.
Oh,
so here's
that worked
the deal,
out for
right?
me, but
yeah.
Well, yeah,
you were happy as shit.
But you remember? So this was funny. You remember when we used to go to the Flyers games a few years ago when we had the 10-game plan, and we made the mistake of getting on the express train a couple times.
Yeah.
I was telling Nick about that on the train ride up there. I was dude, whatever we do, we got to make sure we don't get on the express train on the ride home. We'll end up in Center City.
And you jinxed it.
Don't you know? We came down. It was pandemonium down there. Listeners, viewers. Yeah, it was pandemonium. We walked downstairs after the game all hype. Tried to catch a train. The local train was full. So then we were oh, there's another train. Let's get on it. No one thought to think oh, this might be the express train. Maybe you did, but it was convenient.
I didn't
I yelled it. We got on there, but I didn't check the crowd in time. So the doors closed, and I was I was like, yo, is this the express train? And someone yelled, yeah. And then somebody behind us was like, fuck. Not even they were
the
also,
doors are closing.
they were also pissed. There was like a bunch of people that were like, ah, shit.
So then, right, like, I didn't hear any of this. So the train starts, and it starts slowing down a little bit when it gets to Oregon. I'm like, oh, no, this ain't no express train. It's going to let us off here. Nope, kept going. So then it starts to slow down again at Snyder. I'm like, oh, maybe
This might be the Snyder special train. Skip Oregon.
The
then
old
it just
slippery
kept
Snyder.
on going.
They could do like every other stop. That'd be reasonable, you know?
So it was like, oh, damn, we really did this again. After I said at the beginning of the night, we don't need this
but
to
then
happen.
we got,
So
to,
we
go,
said
we
we
got
might-
to go to Dirty
Yeah.
Frank's.
I was going to go
Yeah.
to Dirty Frank's for a few, which I did not need.
No, none of us needed that. But what we got there was already midnight. On a work night, on a school night.
Yeah, but the Eagles won, man.
Yeah.
Birds are up. People are
Yeah, no, it was
working
fun.
from
they're
home
never
the
going to
next
lose
day.
again.
It was
Baldiani,
popping.
baby.
Drinking with the 23-year-olds. It was popping.
The Birds will never lose again.
But yeah, that was that. Oh, and then my Lyft driver, this was some BS too, yo. So I called a Lyft, like, I think it was either right before or right after you and Hannah left. And I called a Lyft. And, like, I'm looking at my phone, following him, and I'm like, okay, Ryan Walker will be here in 2 minutes. I know his name. So then, Ryan Walker, I doubt you're listening, but if you do, you're a slime ball. But then,
Fuck Ryan Walker.
If you're listening, fuck you.
so then anyway, he gets there, and I'm like, all right, Dean, yo, my rider, like, he's out there. So don't you know, I go outside, like, literally 20 seconds after you arrived. He's gone. And then I check the app, and it's like, oh, yeah, your ride has commenced. I'm like, no, the hell it didn't. I'm like, what the fuck is
Not
going
in the
on?
car.
So then I turn around, and I started to walk home, but I'm like, nah, man, that's far. It's cold. I'm, like, pretty drunk at this point. I should probably just go turn around and go back in there. So I go in there and have another beverage for whatever dumbass reason. It's like 1:30 at this point. And then I call a ride, and this time the ride came. But then I complained to Lyft the next day. This guy Ryan Walker tried to collect money on this. I complained to Lyft. I was like, yo, here's the deal. He didn't pick me up. He straight up picked someone else up or just logged it as he picked me up, and then he just left me like a dog.
Damn.
And then
Did you use those exact words?
More or less. I didn't say left me like a
I
dog.
did. So I had to
should've.
go back to the bar and I had to get another drink. So you're going to
Yeah.
charge me for that as well.
I should have, but now I got my $11 back, though. I was
Nice.
like, yeah, that's BS, dude.
I remember right home, I was out there like the Joker with my head out the window, just trying to not throw up. I was like, I was so fucked. That was bad.
Yeah, I had a fucking. I've never really had like a bad experience with Lyft drivers, but I had one like a week or two ago when I was like moving some stuff to the new place, and like I was going from here to Old City. And I had like a couple like tote bags of stuff, and I like opened the one door, just put the bags in there. Close the door, about to get on the other side, and the guy starts like driving off, and I'm like, "Yo, wait, I'm not in the car yet." And then I'm like, "All right, yeah, I'm here." And the guy like did not say a single word to me the entire time, which normally is fine, but in this case, it would have been nice to be like, "Oh yeah, sorry
Oh, my
about that."
bad.
Yeah, but then we get there, and I get out on the one side, about to go, and he fucking starts to take off with the bags in the car, and I start banging on the fucking door. I'm like, "Dude, yo, stop! My shit's still in there." It was like twice, dude. I did not leave a 5-star review. I didn't leave a shitty review. I just left no review.
Oh, I gave Ryan Walker 1 star. I was pissed. I was mad as soon as he didn't as soon as it said he dropped me off. I was pissed.
To say that you picked someone off when you didn't is pretty egregious. So
I never had that happen before.
Yeah, that's fine.
And like, I could understand if I didn't have a picture of me. I started doing the selfie thing, where I put the selfie on my profile.
Yeah,
so it's
I
like
have
you
that
have to
too
know
now,
what I
yeah.
look like. So you either pick someone else up that looked nothing like me, or you just left.
Yeah,
And you know what else? I wasn't even going home. I was going to the Wawa to get a gobbler.
damn.
So he probably went to Wawa and got a gobbler without me.
Yeah, he's probably like, "Yo, I got this guy's $11. I'm gonna go get a gobbler."
He's a fucking sucker looking.
Yeah, someone's getting some free Wawa tonight, baby.
You're Ryan Walker. If you're watching this, man, I'm giving you the finger. To hell with your ass, dude.
He's probably sitting there eating another gobbler like.
All right, I guess we can talk about this Eagles-Rams game a little bit.
Here we go. Eagles, Rams.
They're 5-5, I believe.
Rams.
Yeah.
5-5?
Yeah, the NFC West is like wild, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
The
they're getting-
Cardinals are in first place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nuts.
Johnny Gaines.
They're getting healthy though. The
I
Rams.
don't have any of the Johnny Gans drops on there.
Oh,
They're getting
I have to
healthy
put that-
over there in L.A. You know, it's gonna be. I think it's probably a tougher game than people think.
Oh, I think so. I think it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I called my dad on the way over here just to pick his brain a little bit, get his sense of how he's feeling about it. And honestly, we're on the same agreement where it's definitely the biggest test, I think, for this young secondary. Potentially,
I would agree.
right? Like you have
some real receivers.
You got
on that
Jamar
team.
Chase and nobodies, right? You got Terry McLaurin and essentially nobodies. You got Malik Neighbors and nobodies. So, yeah, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, everybody locking everybody down. Oh, my God, it's great. Love it. I'm not knocking him as a player. However, you haven't really been tested fully yet, right? Like, I get it. You're so good. No one wants to pass to you. That's great. However, the true test is to see, okay, well, if someone does target your ass, like, what are you going to do, right? You got no picks, a couple good pass breakups. That's great. I love the guy to death. But, I don't know if that touchdown streak lives past this weekend of him not getting up a touchdown.
No, I think that's fair. I mean, you have Cooper Kupp, who isn't what he used to be a couple years ago, but he's still a damn good receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the slot mostly, so he'll be a lot of Cooper DeJean, but they'll move him around.
Yep.
Yeah, white on white.
Yep.
And
exciting whites.
yeah, the exciting whites. Yeah, that was funny. Yo.
That was hysterical. Damn.
And then you got Puka Nakua,
Yeah.
who's a beast, dude. Like,
Yep.
he runs dudes over. He's a monster. So, yeah, and Matthew Stafford, he is 36. Like, he's getting up there as far as, NFL players are concerned.
Still good, though.
Still a gunslinger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a challenge for the young secondary. At the same time, Sean McVay's offenses have traditionally struggled against Vic Fangio coach defenses. So there's that. Take what you will from it. But, yeah, I do agree with you that this young secondary, I think they might be in for it a little bit. Still feeling good about us winning.
Yeah.
But I think, like you said, that touchdown streak's probably over. We might give up a 100-yard receiver. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think it's just inevitable, right? And that's not even touching about their run game with, Kerryon Williams, who's been having a great,
He's good.
Yeah,
he's good, dude.
He's
He won
nothing to
me a
bat an eye
fantasy
about.
league a couple years ago. He's nice.
So he's also due for a good game. And the Rams have a good young, similar to the Eagles right now, they have a good young core on defense, right? They have a lot of young secondary players they brought in last year. Their defensive front is really good with Jared Verse right now stepping in there for,
the other rookie of the year guy.
Yeah, so it's, they have, it'd be a test for the O-line, as patched up as it is. I mean, this is probably their first, with that little mini bye that we had, probably came as a godsend to have Malata come back, look okay, gets another full week, almost and a half off of recuperating, get them back as a core group. But I think it'll be a huge test to see, forcing Hurts to probably throw more, and our secondary defending probably more passes than they've defended against any opponent this year. But this will be a big test. I think that if they come out, if they prove us wrong, and Quinyon Mitchell doesn't give up a touchdown and still keeps Cooper Kupp or Puka Nakua to subpar receiving numbers, we might have something here. But I think this is their first true big step, and I'm okay with him giving a touchdown. It's the name of the game. Statistically, you've done great for 10 weeks. I mean, no one else, it's ridiculous what he's doing. But I think that the Rams are no team to sleep on. They're getting healthier. They're exciting. They're within playoff contention and in their division still, really. So they have a lot to fight for, and they're home. And they gave us a hard time last year too.
The home thing, I don't know how much I agree with because
it's probably mostly Eagles fans.
I'm not saying home field advantage in the sense that us having to fly to the West Coast is all I'm saying.
Fair.
The Rams stadium is fucking weak as shit. I'm not worried about that. But it's about us traveling out there that's the only thing I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I hear you. The 3-hour time difference is nothing to sneeze at. But I mean, there'll be a bunch of Eagles fans there. I mean, Muir Long, man, I know you're listening. You should be going to the game, dude. Wasted all your money on going to see the Sixers play the Lakers. You could be watching the real Philly team play. But hey, I digress. Yeah, I think Philly fans are going to travel well. Statistically speaking, the Rams' defense isn't great. So I got the stats here. The Eagles are 7th in DVOA, 14th on offense, 5th on defense, 13th on special teams. Here's the thing. The Rams are 19th in total DVOA, 12th on offense. Their offense is good, and they've been banged up. Their offense should be really good this game. They're 18th on defense, 28th on special teams. So I think that's where we have the big advantage, defense and special teams. And that's after Jake Elliott had that snoozers of a game. We're still 13th. So I think defense and special teams is where we win this. The offenses, I think, are going to go head-to-head. The defense is going to come up with a play or two. They're going to give up some points now. But I think that special teams, I'm calling it, dude. Jake Elliot has a big game. He has a bounce-back game. Goes 2 for 2, 3 for 3 on field goals, kicks an extra point or two. I got us winning this game 31-21. But I think it's going to be closer than that score would indicate.
Yeah.
I mean,
mine is Eagles 2.5. It's a
Really?
it's a
I
juice
saw-
juice 2.5, so it might be 3 at some places.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw -3 I have written down here.
I mean, I don't know. Last year they played him. Hurts had, I just looked it up, Hurts had 303 passing yards, 75 rushing yards. 38 times he threw the ball. So you're not going to get that, I don't think, this game, unless they change it up and they stop Saquon. I think Hurts is going to kill him on the run. I think he'll probably have around plus 100 rushing yards.
Really?
Yeah. And probably 3 tutties, 2 in the air, 1 rushing with a little push-tush. But I think we come out of here probably looking like...
The push-tush.
Probably looking like...
Oh, yeah, you do keep saying that. Push-tush.
Tush-push. Oh, man. Is tush-push?
Yeah, you've been full of some Pat-isms today, to be honest. You said
Yeah.
Cam Jurgensen once or twice.
Hey, it is what it is, dog. You know what I mean? But I say probably 28-21.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 27-23 Birds.
Okay. All right, so we all got a win. They'll go to 9-3 or 9-2. 9-2.
Yeah,
My bad.
9-2.
3 was on my mind because we kept saying last week. Oh, and I made this bet. If the Eagles, we kept saying if the Eagles go 14-2, I said this too, and we all agreed. No one stopped me.
Well, not me.
How would
I can't
anyone-
even get anyone's name right.
That's true. But yeah, I said if the Eagles go 14-2, I'll drink a Dixie cup of my own piss. I pulled a Trevor.
So now what do we do if we can't even do
So
that?
if they go 14-3 or 15-2, I'll do it too.
Well, what if they hit 14-2?
Well, either if they go 14-2, then that means they're going to go 14-3 or 15-2, and I'll do it.
Oh, gotcha.
If they end up with 14 plus wins, I'll do it. We'll
That's
just put
right.
it that
So if
way.
they hit okay, that makes sense.
And I dare say I'll do it on the pod.
Who the hell did I have them losing 3 games to then? I kept thinking that
probably
was
the
4.
Ravens.
I had
we
the
can probably-
Ravens.
we can probably talk at this out.
I think I had
We
maybe
had
split
one Dallas game,
Yeah, one
The
Ravens,
Ravens,
and I think one Washington game.
No, I did not have
I
Washington.
had one of the Washington games.
I had one of them too.
I didn't have that.
The Bengals.
Oh, maybe the Bengals.
Yeah,
I had the
I think it was
Bengals.
the Bengals.
Okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Thought they were going to be better going
That
into
makes
the season.
sense. Yeah, Joe Burrowson.
Yeah, Jamar Chasen. T. Higginson. That
Jamar-
one works.
Yeah.
Chase Brownson. All right, we got to move on the Eagles. We were on the Eagles for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, 54 minutes.
Well, now we were talking about boxing and
Oh,
nonsense.
Yeah, we
well,
can talk
yeah,
a good
yeah,
bit
yeah.
about that.
I'm timing it today on my phone. I know what's up.
Yeah.
Because last week's episode was too short, an hour 15. We could have kept riffing.
Yeah. Well, now we got.
Well, now
Do
we got.
Well,
do
it
we want
only
to talk
gets.
about?
It only goes downhill from here. So.
Is there much? Oh, well, no. I got to talk. We got to talk about Zach Wheeler getting screwed again.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Sale won
Chris
the Cy
Sale.
Young,
Old ass Chris Sale.
which like he had a great year.
Yeah.
Dude, these statistics. Hold up. So I'm going to give you 2 pitchers. Pitcher A, 16-7, 2.57 ERA, 32 games started, exactly 200 innings pitched, 224 strikeouts, 52 walks, and 6.1 WAR. So that's pitcher A, right? Keep those numbers in your mind. Pitcher B, 18-3, a 2.38 ERA, 29 games started, 177.2 innings pitched, 225 strikeouts, 39 walks, 6.2 WAR. Who you're voting for?
They seem pretty close, but I guess that I feel like the tiebreaker would probably be the guy that threw more innings.
Yep, which was Wheeler.
Yeah.
I was gonna say A.
Yeah, so Wheeler technically should have won. He threw 23 more innings. That's 3 more games, and he started 3 more games. Strikeouts were about the same. Wheeler had a few more walks. Pitcher wins are a bullshit statistic anyway. It's just stupid that Wheeler didn't win. He got shafted 2 years ago with Corbin Burns, or 1 year ago, whenever the hell. Like, I think, like, part of it is that Chris Sale is old and has never won a Cy Young, so people are like, oh, yeah, let's give him one.
Yeah.
Miss me with that. He couldn't even pitch the last game of that, not the last game of the season, that play-in game he was supposed to pitch.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even pitch that because he's injured. And this is him. This is your Cy Young. You know what I mean? Like, that's not cool, man. Wheeler, I think he's going to come out with even more of a vengeance next year, and I hope he does win it.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Damn, y'all don't have nothing to say about that one. I snuck that one in there on the rundown, like, right before we started.
I mean, you know, it's annoying, but, you know, I mean, hey, it is what it
I don't
is.
get too worked up over, like, awards, I guess.
I just feel like he got screwed twice.
Yeah,
probably
feels
get it
like
next
he's
year.
due for one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He'd nice for him to win one before his Phillies contract ends.
Yeah.
Because he's been
He's been the guy.
He's been the best Phillies pitcher since Roy Halladay.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Not like...
I mean, honestly, at this point, he's kind of surpassed Halladay. Like,
Yeah. I think so.
he's had a little more longevity. I mean, Halladay's peak with us was great, but it was pretty short.
Very short stint.
Yeah, I guess Halladay's highs, like, I'm thinking of the perfect game and then
I mean, he had those amazing moments, but
he did win a Cy Young.
That's
He
true.
should have won 2.
He's like a plane. His highs were high, but his lows were low.
Yeah, well, you had to go there with the plane. That's disrespectful.
No, I'm just saying, just poetically.
All right, we got to move on. You just disrespected Roy Halladay's
I
death,
could have
dude.
cued John Denver, but I didn't. I'm just saying.
Fair enough. All right,
you got any Buddy Holly queued up on
do we have anything to say about the Flyers, or should we just move into this debacle that is the Sixers?
You know, they're playing pretty good, like, playing better lately.
Hold on.
With some injuries, but
you got to tell the listeners about the Dollar Dog Night.
They did go to Dollar Dog Night on Monday. The one team that still has Dollar Dogs and hasn't sold out to fucking whatever.
Respect.
No buy one get one bullshit at the Flyers game. We're talking Dollar Dogs.
They haven't sold out to big hot dog.
Big hot dog, yeah. So I had 6, you know, pretty pedestrian, pretty normal.
That is pedestrian.
Just run of the mill. I wasn't trying. I mean, it was a Monday night. I wasn't trying to go crazy.
That was a light jog. That wasn't a marathon yet.
Yeah,
you know?
I just had a nice little meal. 6 hot dogs. Good, fine.
The most hot dogs you ever ate at a Dollar Dog Night was 2.
Yeah, man.
2.
I ain't messing around. I could do beer knitting. I can't do
You know,
dogs
they're just
like
a
that.
dollar.
I can't do dogs like that.
That's weak, dude.
I just can't really eat like that.
I still think we should boot you off the pod for that a year and a half later, but
Man.
you're still here yet.
We have to do it one day for the pod. We just gotta have
Cook a
3
bunch of hot dogs?
3 hot dogs sitting out for Pat, and he's got to eat them all.
I mean, I can eat 3
gotta
dogs.
get 3 dogs,
But I need more than an hour to do it, probably.
More than
I'm drinking beer, you know what I mean? I'm eating the dogs. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not, for what?
Yo, listeners, man, hold on. We got to get some people emailing us about this.
citywidepod@gmail.com.
Yeah,
What's the
email us
most dogs you've eaten?
Yeah, and why is Pat soft?
I've eaten more than 2 dogs in a sitting, but not in a game.
All right, whatever. We'll let the listeners determine.
Bring it on, bitches.
But it was a good, okay game overall. They made it interesting there at the end. They're playing right now.
I'm checking the score.
They're playing the Hurricanes.
I got a push notification. They were down 1-0 in the second. Let me see. That's a tough stretch. You go from Colorado to the Hurricanes. Granted, it's at home.
Yeah.
They did play the Hurricanes tough. What, 2 weeks? A week and a half? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Oh, my app's not working. Tell me the score. Trevor,
But,
you might be better off.
Yeah.
Oh, the Flyers just tied it 1-1.
Oh, nice.
10 minutes ago.
Cool. But they've been looking better. For all the shit we gave to Torts over the Mishkov benching thing, seemed like it maybe worked. I mean, he's been looking really strong since he came back from that. Fedotov's looking okay.
Which is, dude, it was funny. What game was that I was watching? The Buffalo game? Fedotov actually looked pretty good.
Yeah.
He looked real. He actually, he wasn't doing any of that boneheaded stuff where he's
he had a shootout win versus Tampa. That was pretty cool.
That too. But yeah, what always drives me crazy with Fedotov is how far outside of the net he stands. There are certain times where he's way outside of the crease. It's like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
I don't know. I guess he's like big enough, just trying to take up all the. But yeah,
he also looks kind of awkward. But like, I mean, he's like 6'7".
Yeah, he's
so
huge.
Like, you're gonna look awkward trying to sprawl out sometimes and like move from left to right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. I mean, this Ayrton injury buys them some time, but like, you can't roll with 3 goalies all year. So like, what do you do with like Fedotov, who's 28? Like, he's not a part of the future, or Kolosov, who's 22, who's probably really only keeping the seat warm until Zavragin comes back, or comes up in a couple years.
Yeah,
but like, if he's bad, what do you do? Because otherwise, he's gonna want to go back home.
Kill him.
He's not chilling in Philly. He's not chilling in Lehigh Valley.
Yeah, well, he was with the Phantoms earlier this year.
But he ain't signed up for that. He probably only cooperated because they gave him some sort of like under the table deal. Like, hey man,
probably gave him a hot tub.
Maybe they gave him a hot tub.
Probably sucked his dick.
Maybe they showed him where the Belarusian strip club is in the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah,
Ooh.
It's like, there's probably not a huge Belarusian population. Maybe there is.
Probably is, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know a guy. He might be listening to the pod, actually. Will Strauss, man. Shout out Will. Will's a good dude. He's from the Lehigh Valley. I know him. I've known Will for like 15 years. Will, if you're listening, do you know if there are any Belarusian strip clubs? Let me know. We can pass the word on to Kulosov. Because I do think the way he's playing and the way Fedotov's playing, that's where he's headed. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they hold up for, I don't know how long they're expecting Urson to be out.
It's a groin. I thought it was an ankle, even in the clip we posted. I thought, because his skate fell off and it looked like he twisted his ankle. But I guess he probably strained his groin, like something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, right now, man, when I was looking at it the other day, they were hanging around for a playoff spot. Like, the way I thought things were going to happen in the East aren't quite happening. Like, the Devils are good. You are right. It's not loading. Carolina is still Carolina. Florida is obviously still Florida. Oh, here we go. Playoffs.
Yeah, I think in the division they're like third from the bottom. I think they're ahead of Pittsburgh and
in the
division, yeah.
But as far as the conference, we're 1 point behind the Islanders with the same number of games played. Hey man, but then after that, it's not really that close. We'll see. I think they're going to hang around again.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, if the goaltending holds up, maybe they'll surprise some people if Mishkov continues to play well, or if he goes on a tear. Also, I think that Andre was playing well, dude.
Yeah, he was looking great. Now
really good.
Banged up now.
So he comes back. Cam York comes back. Sanheim's been pucking.
Yeah, Sanheim looks probably in his best year of his career so far. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think things could break right. I'll do 3 shots of bananas, like I said, if they make the playoffs. I'm less optimistic about it after that slow start, but you never know.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I guess speaking of slow starts, the
slowest of starts.
Man.
They're actually playing good right now, too. Maxey came back today.
Oh, did he come back? Okay. Yeah, I knew that he was questionable.
Embiid had 10 points the last time that I checked. Yeah, for people listening, we're recording as the Flyers are playing the Carolina Hurricanes at home, and as the Sixers are playing the Memphis Grizzlies in Memphis. And
down by 2 in the second quarter.
What are they, 2 and
11?
11, yeah.
Yeah, 2 and 11. So here's the deal, right? This is wild. Teams that have started 2 and 11. This is from Matt Williams of ESPN. 108 teams has started the NBA season 2 and 11 or worse. Of those 108 teams, only 8 have reached the playoffs.
So you're saying there's a chance then?
And the last one was the Pelicans in 21-22. None of those 8 teams have won a series.
Yeah, but they're not the Sixers, though.
Yeah, they're not the Sixers with this dysfunctional...
They don't have Embiid.
It's like, no,
I
would never say that.
I feel like, maybe it's... There is a weird silver lining here, right? Where in a weird universe, Where maybe they're getting all the shitty play out now, and then they somehow,
I didn't think you were going to be positive about this. Go on.
Well, I mean, everything's going to be negative anyway, so I feel like, obviously, we could sit here and be doom and gloom and be like, you know what, this team sucks, this is it, fire everybody, kill the whatever. But maybe, instead of starting off hot and then having Embiid get hurt a couple months later, and then they start to play a little weird because they don't know how to play without Embiid, then they get Embiid back for a month, and he's not healthy enough, so they're still playing kind of not the best basketball, and they're losing games like they could have gone 2-11 3 months from now, and it would have felt differently interspersed that way. Where now maybe they're getting out their shit now, and then they work into it and they kind of progress, and they maybe get a win today, and they build off that, and Embiid's looking a little bit better, and PG and the three of them are playing looking a little pretty good, and there is a weird universe where this could be that for this season, potentially.
But do you think that's going to happen?
No, but I think that there's a chance, though. It doesn't mean that it's impossible. I mean, there's a lot of shit going down, a little in the locker room thing where they're calling people out, which is good, I think. But at the same sense, we could do then squander around. We don't even have this pick for this year. If you do fall.
We do if it's top 6.
Okay.
So people are saying it's all about hashtag capture the flag. Dude, get Cooper flag.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to tank
I don't think
like
that's
that,
going to happen. I mean, they can't really tank. They can't just start sitting Embiid and Paul George every night.
The only way they could is if I don't want this to happen.
If they eat the fines?
But if someone suffers a serious injury.
Yeah.
Which I don't want that to happen, but that's a way that they could. And let's be honest, man. Embiid apparently looks good tonight. Dude, in his first 3 games, he's averaging 11 points a game and 5 rebounds a game, shooting some awful percentage from the field. What's this stat I got pulled up?
I think this is a part of a larger strategy, though. I'm telling you. It's the suck now.
Is this part of the plan?
The plan.
Yo, this is part of the plan.
It's the plan.
Play like shit.
It's the plan.
Joel the plan Embiid.
He said, I can't really do it. I don't have it. And then next thing you know, whop, whop, he's out there doing his thing.
So part of the plan was for him to shove a reporter, get suspended for 3 games, come back, play terrible for 3 games, and have Maxey call him out. That's all part of the plan.
Because now think about it, right? It's publicly known that you get caught up by Maxey. Just got that nice big deal. He's clearly the future of the franchise, right? You just signed a nice big deal. You're making all this money. People are starting to feel a little iffy about Embiid now, right? Because he's kind of, I did too much shit for this city, this and that. Not really playing well, injury prone. That's in the back of his head. Now you get this exposure from the locker room from within. But weirdly enough, he's playing pretty good. They start to couple few wins here and there. Paul George and him and Maxey and McCain are all now playing like crazy. I don't know, man. Could be a part of a bigger scheme here that we're not thinking about.
If that is truly all a part of the plan, dude.
If they go on some crazy-ass run, this will be wild.
They really need to. 2-11.
They're
the worst. I think they're tied with the Washington Wizards for the worst team in the league.
It's true. But
that's garbage. If part of the plan was to be the worst team in the league, I'll be a monkey's uncle. It's I guess I'll be a monkey's uncle. I could have thought of something better than that. But dude, in Embiid's minutes, this is before this game that's going on as we're recording, they have been outscored by 38 points.
Tonight?
No.
Or just
this season.
How are they down by 10? But
before tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And people can say yeah.
I will say Embiid pretty much every year gets off to a slow start.
But he hasn't looked this bad.
Yeah, it's been kind of extreme this year.
Yeah.
I think, when was it? It wasn't after the Olympics. I think I did kind of call this after the Olympics. After the Serbia game when I did the solo pod, I was excited. But then after that, I was like, dude, he couldn't really jump. He didn't look great.
Yeah, he definitely does not, trust his knees.
It's just kind of
which I think is probably good. Right? We don't need him doing anything crazy.
But, I don't know if people are prepared for, the fact that this could be who he is. I'm not saying it definitely is. But there's a chance this is just who he is at this point.
He's not going to be MVP caliber Embiid anymore, right? He's going to be taking a lot more business decision like jumps or blocks. It'll be a lot more things where he's not in traffic. It might be a more, easier one-on-one battle to win. He's not going to be that risky guy that he's been really up until the end of last year even. where he's going up there making those crazy blocks.
Well, when he did that dunk against the Knicks, that was it was one of the coolest plays I've ever seen, but it was totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
Not saying that dog isn't stolen him, but I think he's probably, it's in his head a lot more now.
Yeah, he's admitted to that.
I think he's, like you said, he's done the recovery process.
I don't know, man. We'll see about all this. Like, they're looking okay. He's apparently looking good. He got 12 points right now. But I said this before when he got injured. I said he's going to be a tragic hero. He'll do all this shit to, like, try to win. He'll, like, risk injury after injury after injury, keep getting injured, never win a championship. He'll be a tragic hero. But then I was thinking this the other day because how everyone's turning on him after this whole Maxey thing and, like, I done too fucking much for the city. What's the Dark Knight quote? You either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. In some people's eyes, man, he's the villain now. And that I don't think that that's totally warranted. Like, you got to put yourself in his shoes, right? Like, think about it. Like, he's had all these, like, injuries. Like, every year something has happened bad. So it's only right for him to mentally be checked out. Like, should he be showing up to practice late and not caring in games and looking disinterested? And, like, the knee thing, I can get that being a mental hurdle to overcome, but, like, not leading the team as the longest tenured guy and MVP, like NBA scoring leader, this, that, and the other. No, he has to take the reins and be a leader, but at the same time, like, he's been through so goddamn much, dude. Like, it's probably kind of hard. And, like, I don't want this to come off as, like, excusing him for being a bad teammate, but, like, there's a reason he's been a bad teammate. It's not justified, but it's there.
I mean, I think that's an obvious point. You know, like, you don't have to be even playing for the Sixers to know that it can't be easy for him to get up there and go through all these things to get back and healthy to play again, just to probably inevitably get hurt again. At the same time, he should be able to see all the positive things that he's been able to do when he is healthy or does commit to the team, right? You don't have to go out there and put 35 points up a game, but you've pretty much helped Maxey become one of the best players he's been, with other people on the team as well. But Maxey, when he got that big payday, gave all the credit in the world to Embiid and his leadership and, you know, his way of playing and all that stuff. And you have another guy with, you know, you got another young rookie in there with McCain now coming up and looking very good, where Maxey and him could be the next duo to lead the Sixers wherever they're going to go. And it doesn't put a good precedent when you have a pretty much a decent young core in the Sixers that kind of are wayward in their path of where to go as a team. And your big piece, you know, they bring in PG for you who's hurt, whatever, but, like, you can't just be this lazy guy that's, like, checked out that way.
Yeah, it's horrible.
You can't afford to do that. So, like, I think I'm not pitting him as the villain, but I think he's definitely probably had a little bit hit to either his ego or just, like, his voice in the locker room, right? Where I think that the weight of what he says probably doesn't hit the same as it did a year ago, given his body language, so to speak, around the team.
I would agree with that.
And I get it. He's been through a lot of shit. I'm not asking him to be a saint every day. You know, that's not what I'm saying. But the best you can do is at least show up on time. And I think that that's good that Maxey called it out and let, you know, him be the vocal leader of the future of the team and just maybe equals or whatever in that and try to get him corrected and get right. That's all you can really do at this point. You can't force him to play better, but you can at least force him to get there on time, show your face, show the young guys what it's like to build this championship caliber roster and do something about it. But it ain't going to be this year, but at least have some fight in you a little bit still.
I mean, like you said, it could be this year.
I just think
it wouldn't shock me if they, like, really started turning around. I'm not expecting them to, but it's like
you're there.
So I have all these guys. I mean, this is a crazy thing too, with how good Jared McCain's playing. I mean, if you had told me going into the season, given the Paul George signing and all the other offseason moves they made, if you had told me that they were going to do that and their draft pick would be this good, you'd be like, oh, we're going to the fucking finals, you know? And, I mean, thank God Jared McCain's playing this good. It's like been, you know, the one thing
the only silver lining.
But, yeah.
But you get healthier, who knows what could happen? Obviously, there's a lot of, you know, you got Cleveland and Boston are still holding it down, so there's no sense in touching up that. But you get into the playoffs, get the injuries out of the way now. you do the load management shit, you see what happens, and you gel as a team. Maybe they find a way to be kind of a sneaky little dark horse there come playoff time. But the time to get it into gear at least a little bit, even first gear would go a long way, is now.
Yeah. I mean, Maxi's back tonight.
Yeah.
Like you figure, like Embiid, he has 15 and 5.
It's the first
halftime.
game that their big three's all been on the court, right?
Yeah. Embiid has 15 and 5 at halftime. They're down 10, so not great. So like they may end up still losing, but like their big three's back. Hopefully things can start to like normalize. Embiid was saying apparently he doesn't know like how this offense is functioning or how he doesn't like how he's being used in the offense.
Because he hasn't fucking been there.
Well, yeah. I don't think that helps. He's not coming to practice. He's coming late.
Right.
Like the game in Miami, he was doubtful most of the game. Then he just decided to show up right before the game. Like, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. But at the end of the day, I still think my prediction holds true that they're a play-in team and they don't make it out of the play-in. This all kind of feels like this was a long time ago, but when Iverson was on his way out, he was always pissy like this in front of the media, getting mad. And like, people started like turn on him too, the same way they're turning on Embiid, and like people got frustrated that outside of the one run, he never made it out of the second round. The difference is the Sixers can't trade Embiid until 6 months after his extension, and that's March 25th, and that's after the trade deadline. So they can't trade him anytime soon. AI, it was like, okay, you don't want to be here, we'll trade you.
I don't think he doesn't want to be here. I think he's just in a little bit of funk. I think that's all. I think that they just...
No, yeah, it's different, but like, it feels reminiscent in a lot of ways. Like, AI was like partying at TGI Fridays on City Avenue.
Yeah.
I drive by that place sometimes. That's wild. And like AI would get done practice, go eat a bunch of Taco Bell. And like Embiid, like kind of the same thing. People are always like, oh, he's lazy. Which I don't think he's lazy, but like he could take better care of himself. Like MVP, scoring titles, like made the playoffs a bunch of years and just never made it over the hump. Like getting run-ins with the media, the whole practice press conference versus Marcus Hayes thing.
Yeah.
Not too dissimilar,
That's
right?
That's true.
So like, yeah, there's like a lot of weird parallels, and a lot of it's probably coincidence, but it's also like, maybe like this ends the same way that did. And then we start the process 2.0, but this time we already have Maxey McCain here, which helps. Because McCain's been hooping, dude. I got his stats pulled up. Dude, this is for the whole season. These stats are good for the whole season. And like, I mean, his last 5 games, he's been on one. But the whole season, he's averaging 15.2 points a game, 47.7% from the field, 40.8% from 3, and 100% from the free throw line. And he had that one play
Where he
against
looked like,
the Orlando
Steph
game.
Curry?
Yeah, that shit was wild,
Yeah.
dude. When he did that, I was like,
That was a Steph Curry play.
That game sucked. I watched that whole game. That game sucked ass. But when he made that play, I was like, holy shit, that's like Steph Light.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, like when we drafted him, I said his ceiling Steph Curry. And I was like, yeah, I'm realistically, like, even though I said that on the pod for false bravado, we got to keep the listeners paying attention to us saying a bunch of outlandish stuff. I'm like, yeah, there's no way he actually does that. But like that move, and he's had a couple other instances where he does some Steph-like shit, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Just a classic catch and
shoot. He
shoot.
might be him.
That was a wild-ass play, albeit they lost or whatever, but that was nuts.
So yeah,
he's looking great. They nailed it.
We might end up starting the process 2.0, but we already got 2 building blocks.
So we're in a better position.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you can say, like, as much shit as we give this organization, they have nailed a couple draft picks.
Yeah.
In him and Maxey.
Yeah. Yeah, so it remains to be seen what happens this season. I mean, if they lose tonight and they're 2-12, it's UGLY. They ain't got no alibi, man. It's ugly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm done on the Sixers. I could keep unloading. It's like, no, I don't really have a whole... Last week, I had a bunch of stuff written down about the window closing. I was really negative last week. I'm still pretty negative this week, but hey, I'm speaking some hope.
Yeah, I mean, at least at this point, I mean, it's just a matter of... I feel like they have it in them to play better. It's just, have they dug themselves too big of a hole? I guess the rest of the conference is pretty bad, so maybe they've kind of lucked out in that way, that they could kind of get away with it. But... I'm at least looking forward to the next few games. That now that they finally have everyone back healthy, we could finally start to see maybe what this team is actually supposed to look like, and then evaluate from there. It just sucks that we're like dug ourselves this big of a hole right at the beginning of the season.
It also sucks that they've already come out and said Embiid and Paul George aren't playing in both halves of a back-to-back. So like you have to build in a few more losses along the way.
Right.
Like think about it. They're 2-12. Like to get like a top 4 seed in the East, you're probably gonna have to win like 50 games. So that means that they're gonna have to go 48-20, right?
Well, in patches, it's doable.
Or no, 48-20. Yeah.
In patches, it's doable. You know, you could. It's not impossible, but they gotta give them time to all play together and see how they gel. Because right now they're in that like what we usually see at the end of the season, where like, you know, Embiid comes back after playing all season and they don't know how to use him again because he's kind of like fumbling around and not healthy. So there's potential for them to pop off a little bit. Not to say they're gonna go on like a 20-game win streak, but there's a potential that they at least string together a couple good patches here and there that they can kind of creep up out of this hole.
Are we concerned about Nick Nurse?
Yeah.
I mean, considering
the coaching's been horrible.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Like he's been dealt a short. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, just the fact that
I wasn't going to bring this up.
Like the past week or week and a half or how whatever when Embiid finally came back and it's like you're down Maxey, which sucks. He's your second best player, but you should be able to win a couple games. Just having one guy out, you should be able to figure something out.
Dude, you should be able to beat the Pistons.
Yeah.
You had Toby come in here and put up like 18 and 10 on you, and the Pistons won. You should be able to beat. Well, they did beat the Hornets in overtime. That shouldn't have been that close.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should be able to beat the Magic without Paolo. Like that's a decent team, but you should be able to beat them.
Yeah, and it's like when you have you especially knowing the roster you have, knowing that Embiid and Paul George are not going to be playing all the time. You're going to have to figure some stuff out and move some pieces around and put some stuff together for those games. And so Maxey goes down, and it just seemed like they had no answers.
They had no plan.
Yeah, which definitely reflects poorly on the coaching staff. And you have him fucking playing like washed-ass Kyle Lowry for
when you said that
like
the other
20
day in
minutes
the chat,
in the
when
game.
he had 19 points or 19 minutes and 0 points.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Like, there's no one else you can throw out there? Like, really? There's got to be somebody. I mean, at that point, like, just start going to the back of the bench. Like, I mean, fucking... I think at that point, he had, like, missed, like, 11 3-pointers in a row or something like that.
He's washed, dude.
Yeah.
Like, love Kyle Lowry. Like, he's from here. He's
from
North Philly. Love him, but he's washed. Respectfully, of course. But, like... Yeah, and then the other night against Miami, like, I didn't watch this game, but I was, like, reading about it and listening to podcasts about it. And, like, he didn't play Gershon Yabusele till the third quarter. It's like, this guy's been one of your best players, and you don't play him at all in the first half?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Like, what the... Ugh. Yeah, I don't know, man. I keep thinking back to what Jonas said.
Yeah.
I will never forget that. I went back and listened to the clip today, actually. Nick Nurse coach is the most.
That's his Soriano.
There we go. We got Soriano and Nick Nurse. There we go. But yeah, Nick Nurse coaches the most, but doesn't coach the best. Yeah, like Jonah was spot on. I mean, we've kind of gotten to experience that this season firsthand. Like, a really good coach. Like, dude, not to invoke Doc Rivers, but whenever the Sixers were shorthanded when Doc Rivers coached, he would coach these guys up.
Yeah.
Like, I will, like...
That's the one thing he was good at.
Almost never give him any credit for shit.
He was great at coaching the hospital Sixers. Not so much coaching, like, Embiid and Maxey and everyone else healthy.
So, yeah, like, in that sense, like, Nick Nurse could take a page out of his book. Although then, like, he'd be...
Just
like,
that page. Just one page.
It's all we need. Don't go any further.
Just rip out that one page.
Don't start throwing your players under the bus for no reason and saying, like, you wouldn't wish an NBA head coaching job on anyone. Like, don't start doing that.
Yeah. My life's so hard as an NBA coach making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I would not wish this on anybody.
I'm still getting paid by the Sixers. Now I'm on the Bucks payroll as well. My life sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have nothing else on the Sixers. Let's see how they finish up this game. Maybe we'll have a little more vitriol spit next week.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I guess at least Grizzlies are a good team, so even if they were playing well, it wouldn't be under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be like the worst thing in the world if they dropped a game to the Grizzlies.
Right.
But at this point, you gotta start fucking racking up some W's.
You gotta do something here.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just about do it for us here tonight, everybody. Please, thank you for watching and listening.
Please, thank you.
Please and thank you
Well,
for
I'm glad
watching.
you remembered to thank everyone.
Yeah, you know, hey, I'm getting it in there. Leave us a 5-star rating and review of your podcast. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Send us an email at citywidepod@gmail.com.
Yo, hold up. Send us an email and say, yeah, Pat, you got to eat more than 2 hot
Yeah,
dogs.
tell us
You're
how
a
many.
bitch.
Tell us how
You're
many hot
soft.
dogs.
Tell us how many more hot dogs you would eat than 2 at $1 dog.
Yeah,
Like,
give us
please.
some hot dog stats for next week. Yeah, do that. And from all of us here at the Citywide, good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Peace.